Hey guys, so I decided that I wanted to perform a personal tarot reading for Ostara, the vernal equinox, using my new tarot deck. And I must say, I really like the results so far. Um, it was only a three-card spread, and the first card I drew was the Page of Cups. Now, the Page of Cups, I intuitively feel, signifies me. I am a Pisces. I'm a water boy, and well, uh, Pisces. Well, the Page of Cups seems to signify the inner child, the wearing your emotions on your sleeve, um, always being very contemplative and thinking before you speak. Because I've said many times that not every thought that crosses our mind should pass our lips, and I really do believe that. Um, but Pisces is a sign that fears adulthood. We don't really want to grow up. We fight against it. You know, we try and hold on to our ideals, our dreams and ambitions and goals through life. No matter what. Otherwise, it would just be soul crushing. That is why you see so many Pisces that have very addictive personalities. That that you see them. You see alcoholics and drug addicts because they're trying to cope with life and having to grow up because it's just terrifying to us. So I really do understand that, especially in the world in which we live. It's not kind to anyone. It's also one of the reasons why I fight so hard as a socialist. Um, so that the next generation might have it better than mine did. The second card I drew is the Three of Pentacles, and you will see that this deck is in many ways similar, but in many ways very different um, from the Rider-Waite clone styles. This Three of Pentacles signifies personal empowerment. She has completed her task, her great work of artistry, without the agency of anyone else who thinks they might know better than she or me even. And that is an extremely profound image in my opinion, because I've really been working on ways to empower myself, um, but also to work on the things that I am passionate about, that I have artistic control over, and freedom to do with them as I please. The things that I'm passionate about, that please me. In terms of music, in terms of scholarship. So that is a really profound card to draw today. And it seems to be underscored even by the next card, which is the Fool. Now, normally in a reading, if this occurs early on in the reading, the Fool typically signifies naivete. But when it occurs much later, and even at the end of a reading, it signifies something else entirely, something more akin to what the World card would be. That it's about experiences gained and mastery of those experiences, and being better for having experienced them. That having experienced them, it's sort of the end of the game, but the beginning of a new game at the same time. That you should expect to move on and find other things to do to master. that you might be new at the same time. So this is a really, really good card to get at the end of a reading, in my opinion, and it really signifies hope in a certain sense that there will be more. There will be just a bounty of more and new opportunities for you going forward once you have mastered the skills that you want to master. So that is a really profound card, and I'm really glad that I got it at the end of a reading instead of at the beginning when it usually does signify that you are just starting out, that you're just basically a baby in certain regards, that you're a newbie, and God, that is just that was really a profound um, set of cards that I drew, and it just gives me hope for the coming weeks. It gives me, God, it just makes me feel wonderful having drawn those cards at a time when I really needed them to. When I've really been feeling down in the dumps, um, and things just don't seem to be really going well for me or my family. My brother, I think, is actually going through his Saturn return, so I remember well when I went through mine, and it was not fun whatsoever. I hated every minute of it. In fact, it seemed to last for a few years, and like Jared, his seems to be lasting a few years. So that is really my Ostara reading for today. It wasn't really about Ostara for anything larger than myself, but in the future I probably will be including readings of that sort for others to really to take into consideration in their own lives. Um, of course, I am also available for readings. Just contact me and get in touch, and I will explain how I read. Any fees involved. I like to tell people that I'm a real cheap date when it comes to reading. If you're nearby, God, I'll give you a reading just for a dinner, or even just buy me a cup of coffee, something, and I will totally give you a reading. I'm a cheap date that way, or um, I really don't think that $20 is too much to ask for a reading when many readers charge much more. Um, so yeah, even if you have like a gift card laying around, $10, I will give you a reading. I'm a real cheap date that way, and I have been told I'm an extremely good reader. I have had people coming back to me for readings, um, but God, a while back I really impressed a new friend of mine with my proficiency at reading for others, and she told someone who wanted a reading, go to me, come to me. She's gonna Wade. He'll treat you right. And I never heard from her. In fact, she had asked me like months afterward if she had come to me, and I was dumbfounded. I had no idea. I said to her, "Oh, this is the first time I'm even hearing about it." So she has apparently not come to me, which is a shame. I really enjoyed reading for her the first time, and apparently my read of her was accurate. So but one thing that really really irritates me is people who sort of well, they seem to believe that reading should be free, and they come to readers asking for readings, and if you tell them that you have sort of a fee involved, and I think I'm really, really reasonable when it comes to fees. I mean, you don't even have to give me money. Just, buy me a pop or something. Fast food. Who can't afford just fast food? $10. It's not that much. And then they turn their nose up at me and say, "No thanks. I will just use this reading app on my phone." That is so insulting. It's just insulting to readers in general. But why they believe that they can get an accurate reading from an app on a phone, which is entirely random, rather than from an actual living human being, it is beyond me, because it completely deprives the reading process of that intuitive psychic component that makes a reading so interpersonal and valuable. So, yeah, I really didn't intend for this video to be a bit of a rant, but, while I was thinking about it, I thought, why not? So, if you're going to ask someone for a reading, do well by your readers. We are people too. We have hungry mouths to feed. You know, just an exchange of just a little something. It's good karma. It's a talent, and if you really want a reading that badly, and you're unwilling to um, exchange any money or monetary energy, as I like to call it, for a reading, buy your own pack of cards and learn to read on your own. It's that simple. You know, um, it's not as hard as you think it might be. But I am more than happy to read for people, and if it's an emergency case, I will give you a free reading. I don't have a heart of stone. In spite of all the rumors about me, I do not have a soul as black as night. You know, I I'm extremely compassionate. Um, but yeah, I really enjoy reading for people. It helps me to augment my own psychic faculties. Um, so yeah, get in touch. You know how to reach me. There's tons of ways through my YouTube channel, email, whatever. I am here. So I really hope you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful Ostara spring equinox. Get out there, get in the wilds. This is March, the time of new beginnings and running. Get out there, guys and girls, and get your freak on. Because I don't know about you, but maybe this is a little TMI. But when spring warms up, so do I. And I know a lot of Pisces that way, that, when spring rolls around, they can't, um, well, let's just say that if they could just run naked frolicking through the woods and just, getting bomb chicka wow wow, they totally would. It's just human nature. It's the rising sap, the rising sun tide in our veins that says, hey, winter's gone. Time to get freaky with it. So yeah, go out, have fun. Today is a gorgeous, gorgeous day. The snow is gone. Um, well, the wind might be a little chilly, but overall, the sun is out. There's hardly a cloud in the sky. It's gorgeous outside. So get outside. Do not be cooped up, or you will hear from me. Get off your devices, go out, go for a walk, go mingle with people. I'm so sick of seeing people with their noses stuck in their devices. I practically groped a guy the other day accidentally, even though he was cute as fuck, because he was standing in a hallway while I was trying to squeeze by him with his nose stuck in his device. damn it, he was cute. He was really cute. He even opened the door for me, which is so sweet. But that's neither here nor there. And I am probably boring you to death right now, so I will leave you here, and I will wish you well. And how should I end this? Get your witch on, y'all.